Hello and welcome to CEO Inside the Living Organization podcast, where we explore topics of how do we lead people from the heart? How do we create families, not companies, but families and communities? And with me, I have Carl Stecker from freex.com. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Carl, I really wanted to have you back because you have a story to tell, and we all love stories, right? Tell us a story about an employee who had some problems that you told me the other day.
Yes, I think how we got off on it was kind of the meaning of a living organization and what it means other than just running a company, having a product, so on and so forth. And something happened to us last month. We had a young man, he and his brother worked for us. I got word that somebody was sleeping on the job. I sent out an email that was something that you couldn't do. I felt as though it was stealing. The next day, one of my team members came in and this gentleman was sleeping and he fired. And rightfully so, you don't go to work to take a nap. And I got an email from the guy who was fired, very nice. He said, benefits in a card, freerx.com are my family. I enjoyed working here. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And I just felt a pull on my heartstrings because I knew what this man had been through. And I'm sorry if I get even emotional thinking about it. He and his brother worked for me. His brother started with us prior to him coming. And I knew that their mother was murdered 7 years ago. And at the time, I was actually talking to his younger brother when I learned about this because he was upset. And I saw it on his face, pulled him into the break room. I said, "What's going on, Chris?" And he told me, and he was basically subpoenaed to come to court and testify against his mother's murder. I mean, you can imagine the emotion that stirs up in a person. Long story short, a year goes by and his brother was the one who was sleeping on a job. Well, knowing that story, reading that letter, I called and said, "Get him back in the office immediately." So this was on a Friday. He was back in the office on Monday. I was in there and I really thought about it. And I said, okay, we all know what happened, right? So we don't need to talk about that. So what's really going on with you? And he said, "Well, I just got handed my mother's estate that's in probate and I've got to deal with it." I said, "Okay, well, I have a great estate attorney that I can recommend you to. And by the way, I'm going to pay for it. The company's going to pay for it. We're going to handle this for you." But I said, let's talk about the bigger issue on the table. And the bigger issue on the table is all the emotion this has stirred up for you and all the emotions and pain that this has stirred up for you. And I said, I've got 3 things that I want you to do. And this is basically, you're coming back to work for us, but it's contingent upon the next 30 days and you implementing all 3 of these. And the first thing is you read Tony Evans' book, and I gave it to him sitting there that moment. Tony Evans' book, Becoming an Overcomer. And I also gave him Tony Evans' app, which is my favorite pastime. And had him listen. I said, your requirement is to listen to a sermon each morning. I want your head right before you come to work. And then the second thing that's mandatory is that you go get therapy, professional therapy, because you've got to walk through these stages with somebody who's a lot more educated than I am that will help you to understand this. I said, this is a growth opportunity for you. This is not a setback. Okay, so let's make sure we all embrace this. And I said, the next thing is I want you to come into your data entry department. I want you for the next 30 days to figure out what our company can do to improve. And then you come to Gary and I, and you tell us about these improvements. And when you do, we're not only going to promote you to team lead over entire data entry, we're going to give you a raise on top of that. And this man, I mean, I started to cry. He started to cry. Gary started to cry. You know, we were all like three big babies in there. You know, I'm a little old, and these guys are a little younger than I am. But I mean, it was so touching but it was just a matter of caring that much about one person on your team and showing them and letting them know you are not alone in this fight. And leadership is truly about your engagement with your team and your care and your love for your team. It's not just about your deliverable, because let me tell you, when you got the right team, you're unstoppable. And it's a joy to be doing what we're doing with the team we're doing it with. Thank you.
Carl, thank you so much. You really gave us a heartfelt story, which speaks more than sometimes thousands of strategies and business speak. This is a living organization. This is exactly what you demonstrated, is a living organization where you care for people, you support them, they're not alone, and you get them to own what they have, their problem. It's not just caring, it's also ownership, and get them to step up to leadership. So when you do all those three things, you have, as you said, unstoppable team. Carl, thank you so much. I really appreciate you
You're so
sharing.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.